Hi, today I'm gonna show you how to knit this Raglan cardigan with zipper and pocket. Let's get started. Please check my description box for all the details. I put pretty much everything in that section. Today, I'm gonna show you how to knit this beautiful cardigan. This is top down sweater, Raglan sweater, complete seamless. Well, pretty much seamless, except the pocket part, half sleeve, and pocket. All right. And, I love the pocket. I haven't actually sew it right there. Okay. If you don't want to sew that part, you don't need to. You can just make kind of triangle pocket. It's really up to you. And this is 2-thread project. Okay. And let me talk about the zipper. Zipper should be same length or shorter. Obviously, shouldn't be longer than sweater, right? And you really have to make a plan ahead for zipper or buy the zipper later because you don't know, right? If you want to use the shorter zipper like mine, make sure the top has to be closed completely, right? And the bottom, shorter. It doesn't really matter, right? And you have to buy separate one at the bottom. Because I couldn't make up my mind with the zipper, I didn't start with the neck rib. I thought it was maybe I should knit neck rib later so I can adjust the length, right? So I started from the bottom of the neck, okay? So you can watch this video until the end and make decision for yours. Let's talk about the swatch. I knit swatch with 2 threads, obviously, because 2-thread project. And my gauge was 15 stitches and 20 rows within 4" by 4". My desired neck opening measurement is 16. My actual neck measurement is 12. Okay? Also, one more plan for the pocket. 4" wide to start and 6" deepness. That's all I decide so far. Okay? The pocket would be like that, and you will figure it out how many stitch count you need, how many rows you have to knit, stuff like that. If you haven't decided yet, don't worry. You should have little brief idea. That's all. Because you really need how deep you want for the pocket, because you have to stop for the pocket, right? Because this is top-down sweater. Okay? So, with those numbers, let's find out your cast-on number. If you don't have my math template, you have to do the math manually, but I include everything in my written pattern. Okay, so this is my math gauge template. If you have my template, please open it. And if you don't have it, you can do your math manually following my written instruction. Or some people post the the gauge template online. So you can Google it and try to find out your cast on number that way. Okay, so let's find out the, my cast on number and other things. Okay, in this red section, you have to put your gauge swatch information. My swatch is 4" by 4" and 15 stitches within 4" and 20 rows within 4". Now, I want to find out the cast on number from my desired length. My actual neck size is 12" and I want to make it a little bit bigger. So 16 inches. That's my desired length. Here, top of this section, find out stitch count from the length. I know the length and I want to find out the stitch count, cast on stitch count, right? So I'm going to put the 16, my desired neck opening. Okay, this is yellow section and coming down 60. And stop right there. Make sure one thing. Right here. Okay, I want you to put 12 because I want you to pick the number with multiple of 12 and then find out the number close to this number, 60. Well, 60 is actually multiple of 12. So let's go here. So 60. So my cast on number is 60. Okay? And a couple more things I want you to find out. First of all, my pocket. My pocket, the wideness is 4". That's my plan. Okay, so, well, 4" stitch count 15. So, obviously, I'm going to put the 4" 15. So, my pocket should have 15 stitch to start. Okay, and then the deepness, I want the pocket 6" deep. So right here, find out row count because that's height, right? So from the length, so I want a 6". Then this is orange section and orange section, 30 row count. So my pocket start with the 15 stitch. Okay, and then how deep I want. I have to knit 30 rows, which means you have to stop, 30 rows before the pocket ends. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you need to know. So you can kind of, use your imagination how long you want for the cardigan and think backwards. Anyway, let's talk about that later. So anyway, my cast on number is 60. Let's move on to actual knitting. Okay, these are the yarns I used. The blue one is my main color and I add different color and using the 2 thread. And I change the color every 20 rows. Cast on. According to my math, my cast on number is 60. Or your number, which is multiple of 12. I'm not going to knit in round because this is cardigan. All right? So next row should be wrong side. And there we go, 60 cast on. I'm going to make all purl in next row and add in the Raglan markers. Okay, 4 of them. And how to add the markers? It's easy math. The whole cast divided by 6. So my cast on number is 60. 60 divided by 6 is 10. This is the base number. My base number is 10. Okay? So front piece and each sleeves would be base number times 1. So the front, both sides, that's gotta be base number times 1. For me, 10. And each side of the sleeves, base number times 1. And rest of them should be your back, which is base number times 2. Okay, so adding up everything should be your cast on number. That's how you add markers. Okay, so again, this is wrong side, which is inside of your cardigan. Okay, so making purl. I knit first 10, which is my base number, and then I am going to add raglan marker 1. That will be my left front. And next 10 stitch will be my left sleeve. You know what I'm saying, right? And those raglan markers, that's where I am going to increase. After this, start increasing right away. There we go. It's done. I put 4 raglan markers divided by front piece, right? Sleeves, both sides, obviously, and then back piece. I am going to increase every markers. Total of 8 stitches on only right side. Okay, so right side, which means knitting side. So instruction says increase in row number 1 right side, knit until 1 stitch before the marker. Okay, so just knit until 1 stitch before the marker, and I am going to make one right here. 1 stitch before the marker, right side. So picking up the running thread like that, hook onto left needle, make sure the running thread shifting towards the right. This is the right position for make one right. And always knit the thread connect to next stitch, not the previous. Okay, always next stitch. The back loop connecting to the previous. So I am going to knit front loop and just a knit wise. This is make one right. 2 threads, so sometimes it's a little tricky, so just take your time and knit last one before the marker, and then there you go. I actually grab other thread too. There we go. And slide the marker and knit 1. Then make 1 left. Picking up the running thread, hook onto left. This time shifting towards the left. And then, okay, always knit the thread connecting to next stitch. So I am going to knit back loop this time. Back loop means purl side, right? So keep the yarn back, but the needle, you have to put the needle straight in, just like purl. Then knit the back loop. This is make one left. Okay, and then knit towards to next raglan marker, and you do the same thing. I'll show you one more time. Here comes make one right, because right side of the marker. Pick up, hook onto left, shifting towards to right, and knit front loop. Okay, and knit one, slide the marker, knit one, and make one left. Pick up, hook onto left needle, and back loop straight in like that, and then knit. That's it. And you just, keep increasing every raglan marker. Total of 8 stitches increase. And increasing row number 2, wrong side, all purl. That's it. And repeat row number 1 and row number 2 until your desired length. Okay? And finish on row number 2. Desired length means the sleeve is long enough to meet under your armpit. Now, I want to talk about how to change the color of yarn. Again, the blue yarn I'm going to keep because it's a main color. So I cut the yellow one and I'm going to attach new color. So use the blue yarn first and hook, and don't knit, and hook the new yarn. Then grab everything except the yellow one. Then knit the first one. There you go. That's it. And get rid of the tail end, and with the 2 thread, keep knitting. That's it. That's how you change the color. You don't really have to cut, everything. And tie the knot with the new color and yellow one to secure. All right, super easy. So after this, just keep knitting and increasing. Now, I knit 40 rows, and let me check, about 8 inches. And this is big enough. I kind of, want to knit bigger size. It's not oversized, but, bigger than usual. So anyway, this is good enough, long enough for sleeve, and big enough for body and sleeve. Now I will separate the sleeves from the body. And when I reconnect the body, I am going to add some new cast. Okay? Usually 1.5 inches and 2 inch worse. And for me, 2 inch would be 8 stitches. So I'm going to add 8 new cast. Anyway, let's do that. I was going to actually use the green, but I changed my mind and I am using orange. There we go. So I finish with the increasing row number 2. So no more increasing after this, and knit until the first raglan marker. Okay? And then when you hit a raglan marker, remove the marker, and with the tapestry needle and scrap yarn, transfer all the sleeve stitches onto scrap yarn. There you go. And again, tie the, the both ends of the scrap yarn to make sure, they're secure. And I usually use quite long scrap yarn, so I can actually put it on, right? I just want to make sure, the sizes. And now reconnect the body right there. That's going to be under your armpit. And like I said before, I am going to add 8 stitches. This number must be multiple of 2. Okay? And if you want to actually adjust the sizes, like, make it a little bit more bigger, this is the time. Okay? You have to add a little bit more. There's no rule, but usually 1.5 and 2 inch worth of the stitch would be perfect. Anyway, then connect with the body. Skip the sleeve and reconnect with the back of your body. Okay, so you do exactly same thing for the other side of the sleeve and knit till the end. There we go. Sleeves, sleeves, and add a cast. That's about it. And should be big enough for body as well. So after this, just stockinette stitch. Knit on the right side and purl on the wrong side. And I knit enough length and I want to start knitting the pocket, which means for me 6 inch before end of the pocket. Okay, so you can actually make the pocket with paper and make sure how many stitches and how many rows, stuff like that. Just brief idea. Okay, so again, 4 inch wide, 15 stitch. Then I am going to increase 10 stitches like that. So I will have 25 stitches at the bottom of the, pocket like that. Okay, and the other side, flip. Same thing. So first of all, I have to, well, I don't have to, but it's easier. So I am going to count 15 stitches for, both sides. That's the start, right? And I don't want a mistake. There you go. Add marker. And the pocket preparation starts on right side. Okay, there you go. So let's start. Pocket preparation. Again, I use scrap yarn. A complete different color would be ideal because you have to get rid of those scrap yarn later. So it's easy to see which is scrap yarn, right? So there you go. Knit with scrap yarn until the marker. Okay? Almost done, which is 15 stitches. When you hit the pocket marker, remove it and turn. Then those stitch, the pocket preparation stitch, back onto the needle. So start all over, okay? There we go, done. And cut the, scrap yarn obviously. And you can actually secure the both ends. And what you have to do is just pretend nothing happened and start knitting, okay, with your main yarn until the other side of the pocket starts. So right here, the pocket has to be on same row. So I'm going to do the preparation from this side, not from the edge. So there we go. 15 stitches with scrap yarn. Again, same thing. So after you knit with the scrap yarn until the end, that's going to be my 15 stitches for the pocket. Okay, turn around and then transfer all the stitch back onto the other side of the needle. So again, this is the preparation, and please watch my video until the end, because if you do this preparation, you have to complete the pocket. Okay, so if you think this is too much, don't do it. So please watch the video until the end. It's actually simple. What I'm doing is little intimidated. This is too much, but it's not that difficult. Anyway, so what I'm doing is, pretend nothing happened and knitting with the main yarn to finish this row. That's it. Okay, so this is the first row of the pocket preparation, right? And next row will be the second row. And do you remember how many rows I want to knit for the pocket? 6-inch, and which is 30 row. So I am going to knit 30 row of the body, not the pocket. Okay, so there you go. So can you see the scrap yarn in the middle of the green section? That's the pocket start, and I knitted it 30 rows, which is my desired pocket rows deepness. Okay, so I stop right there because I have to attach the pocket later. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to knit actual pocket. So the body, just leave it and focus on the pocket. So I am going to cut the scrap yarn and picking up the stitches, the above the scrap yarn and bottom of the scrap yarn. And I have to start knitting right side. So you really have to make sure the needle point direction. Okay? Make sure you have to start with right side, because the body, I started with right side. You know what I'm saying? So 30 rows, same as the body. Okay? So again, I'm picking up the stitches above and bottom of the scrap yarn. So use the smaller needle, which is easier to pick up. Okay? And this is the hard part, probably. But once you understand what I'm doing, probably it's easier. Okay? So I'm actually doing the left side of the pocket. Okay? Make sure. And if you're scared of the cutting the thread, pick up the stitch first, like that. Okay? And then you can actually cut the, scrap yarn later. And make sure 15 stitches. Okay? I'm actually picking up the stitches above the scrap yarn right now. I'm sorry, it's kind of out of the camera. And either way, if you want to cut the scrap yarn first, go ahead because it's a little bit tight, you know. That's why I'm saying use the, much smaller needle because this is just a picking up. The knitting is same needle as the body, of course, which is 6 millimeter. But, this part, you don't really have to use the same needle. Okay, I'm just trying to show you what I'm doing. And if you actually drop one stitch, that's what I actually did. Don't worry, you can actually pick up later on. So don't panic, really. So now, there we go. I should have used much smaller needle, so that'll be easier. Anyway, I pick 15 stitches. Now, you have to get rid of the scrap yarn. Do not cut main yarn. Okay, so you can actually get rid of the scrap yarn little by little like that. But, I'm a little, impatient, so I will cut the yarn later on. But I know exactly which, the yarn I'm cutting, so I have a confidence to cut it. But if you're not, don't cut it. Okay? This is the reason why I said use complete different color. So it's easier for you to, get rid of the scrap yarn, right? If you're using same color or, it's going to be harder for you. There you go. Almost. So obviously, when you cut the scrap yarn, there's gotta be hole, big gap, right? Now, I have to close that gap. Okay? So don't worry about it. There we go. So make sure to count. I think I have one stitch missing. Bottom one. So right there, I need to, pick it up later. So anyway, left pocket. So you know which one is the bottom and which one is the top part. So face to right side. Okay. And then now you have to use the 6 millimeter needle. And the pocket, I decide I'm gonna use the 2 thread of the main color. Okay, so there you go. And need to together to close that gap. Because of the way I pick up the stitches. Sometimes the stitch is twisted. Okay, so if the stitch is twisted, you have to untwist it. Okay, so there we go. This one is twisted, so untwist and knit two together. Or you can actually use back loop to knit. Either way. Okay, untwist. It's really hard because it's a little bit tight, but just take your time. Okay, and there you go. Because of the two thread, sometimes I'm picking up the wrong way, so there you go. Knit two together. This is the first row of the pocket. Okay, there we go. Now you can see I have one stitch missing, right? So, I'm not gonna be panicked. Just make sure, picking up one more. There we go. And then finish the pocket first row. There we go. Knit two together. And after the first row, obviously stockinette stitch in flat. So turn around, and now you're facing to wrong side, which is purl side. So you know which one is the right side and wrong side, right? Outside of the fabric would be knitting right side. Okay. Okay. So anyway, let me show you. So this is the left pocket. The pocket goes like that. It's a little upside down. Okay. Anyway, so the place you put your hand in, okay, that's gonna be edge. So I wanna make garter stitch. Okay, garter stitch is on right and wrong side, has to be knit. Okay, so you know which one is the the edge, right? So the first four you knit, and everything else is all purl. Okay, and I going to add marker because just before the marker on right side I'm going to increase. So if I add the marker there, that'll be easier to remember. You have to increase. So all purl until the end. Now row number 3. So knit all the way. Well, on right side, no matter what, edge or not, it's on it. But now I'm going to increase. Do you remember? I want to increase 10 stitch only on right side. So I am going to knit 20 rows to finish the, increasing. Anyway, so knit until the marker just before the garter stitch, right? And then increase towards to left, right there. So towards the left. So I'm gonna use make one left technique right before the marker. So knit until the marker, and you already know how to do make one left. So not gonna show you. Just the once is good enough. There you go. And slide the marker and knit until the end. And next row, row number 4 for the pocket, wrong side. Again, the edge of the pocket should be garter stitch. So knit 4 and purl, no increasing. And repeat row number 2, row number 3 and 4. Okay, until increasing ends. Okay, so this is actually end of increasing. This is the 10th increasing. Okay, make one left. After this, I don't have to, do the garter stitch anymore because I'm gonna sew it. Okay, this edge part, garter stitch part, that's not sewing, obviously, because it's pocket, right? You need to have some opening. This is the reason why I use the garter stitch, because I don't want the edge curl in. So after this, no more garter stitch. So all purl on wrong side. But it's up to you. If you want to use the garter stitch all the way down, go ahead. Okay? And there we go. I knit 30 rows. Finish on wrong side. So same as the body part. Okay? This is important. That's why you have to, do exactly same as body. Okay? Now, the main color, which is yellow and blue, is already attached with the body, right? So I'm gonna use that. And knit two together to close the bottom of the pocket. That's it. Super easy. And this time it's not twisted stitch, so you don't have to untwist or anything. Just knit two together to, connect both bottom. There we go. Two threads and pocket and body, obviously little thicker, but every pockets are like that. So just take your time. So after the left pocket, what are you gonna do? You just knit until the other side of the pocket starts, and you do pretty much same thing, but obviously it's a little bit different, right? That's obvious because the direction of the pocket opening is opposite. So there we go. This is end of attaching the pocket at the bottom of the body. And as I told you, I am going to knit until the pocket start. So when you hit the marker, do the same thing. Leave it at the bottom of the body and start knitting the pocket. Okay, so I'll show you. There you go. That's the left side of the pocket I just finished. I am going to sew that part. Okay, there we go. And this one is open, but that's okay. I'm gonna put the zipper on and it will close anyway. So Again, I want to start knitting side. So the needle, the picking up needle is that way. So you can actually start on right side and knitting. You know what I'm saying? That's the part you have to be careful because it's different. Okay? You gotta start with knit side and end with wrong side. So you can finish to connect the, the bottom with on right side. Anyway, so I'm just telling you which way to start knitting and how which way to picking up the stitch. Okay, so it's kind of mirror image of the left pocket. Okay, so let's do that. I'm actually using the quite smaller needle because it's much easier. As you can see, this picking up stitch means nothing really. This is not knitting, just picking up. And so the knitting pocket, you have to use the same needle as the body part. So there you go. My dog is growling. Probably someone walking in the hallway. Anyway, so there you go. Need to together to connect. I'm sorry. He's protecting me. There you go. Pretty much same right now. So I don't really have to, tell you anything. So the wrong side, what you have to be careful is the garter stitch edge. For the left, first four, but for the right pocket, last four will be the garter stitch. So row number 2, wrong side for the right pocket, all purl until last four, then knit four for the garter stitch edge. So again, you should use marker so it's easier. Okay, and there we go again. Turn around, row number 3. Again, first four. On right side is garter stitch, so knit 4. Well, this is all knit anyway, so knit 4. And after you slide the marker, you will increase 1 stitch, same as left pocket, but this time I want to increase towards the right. So make 1 right using the running thread. There we go. And knit the front loop. That's it. So you do exactly same thing. Okay? Then after you finish the pocket, attach. Then finish the row 31. There we go. Right here. So it's easy. If this is first time, it's a little bit, complicated, but it's not really. And I seriously don't like seaming, but I like pocket. I don't want to sew the pocket on the body part. So this way, easier for me. So on the side, the bottom side, I just have to sew up a little bit. You know, that's about it, right? Easy. Anyway, so finish the body. And then, you know, start knitting the rib. Okay? So there's lots of, the yarn ends, but don't worry, we will weave the ends off later. So the ribbon is 2x2 that I'm going to use. So obviously the stitch count should be multiple of 4. And same as the pocket, the neck and bottom rib, I'm going to use 2 thread of the blue main color. The color, or even the how many thread, it's up to you. Okay, so if you want to use the 1 thread, just a regular sweater, just knit the swatch with 1 thread. If you want to use 3, just knit the swatch with 3 threads. That's it. Okay, anyway, so I use the 5.5, little smaller, half size smaller needle, and then start 2x2 ribbon, which is repeat of knit 2 and purl 2 until your desired length. Okay, and the bind off, I changed the needle to 6mm because I don't really like the tight end anywhere. So little bigger needle means little more fabric to use. So it's gonna be a little bit stretchy. And if you wanna, stretchy type of bind off, don't pull too hard. Okay, bind off kind of loosely, not too loose. Okay, so the bind off is done. Now let's start knitting neck. First of all, I could start with neck rib, but I wasn't sure when I started. So, obviously I decide I'm going to add neck rib, but it's not ribbon. It's just a stockinette stitch. First of all, you have to knit up along the your neck opening. Should be same number as your cast on number. My cast on number was 60. So I'm going to knit up 60 stitches along the neckline. And it's going to be stockinette stitch. So knit outside or right side and purl on wrong side. I knit long enough to fold. Okay? You don't have to if you don't want to, but if I fold the neck rib like that, there's no, raw edge on top. Okay? And this is the thing. I bind off the first stitch and last stitch because I was thinking to sandwich the zipper, but I ended up didn't. So do not bind off here. Okay? So what I want you to do, pick up the bottom of the neck rib stitch, okay, from the first stitch. Okay? And then knit two together to kind of, to make the, double neck. You know what I'm saying? And then bind off. So you connect top of the neck collar and bottom of the neck collar. So it's going to be folded and double neck collar. You know what I'm saying? So you do a connection and bind off at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And again, I bind off first and last stitch because I was going to sandwich the zipper, but it didn't really work well. So forget about the binding off. Start with connecting right away and then bind off. You have 60 stitch at the end and at the bottom, so you should be able to, bind off nice and straight. There you go. Here, this is the end of the, neck collar. Soon I'm going to bind off at the, end of the stitch. This is the second from the last stitch. So I'm going to do one more bind off, and now I should pick up another stitch to bind off, but I stop right there. You know what I'm saying? But you have to bind that last stitch off too. Okay? So total of the 60 stitch you have to bind off. So now you can go get your right length of the zipper if you want. Okay? You measure from top to down, wherever you want to end, and then go get your own. Okay? I have few, long zipper like this. So I'm measuring. This is 24 inches zipper. I ended up using, this zipper. Okay? So what I'm doing is to make sure this is long enough and short enough. Okay? I didn't want to close all the way down. I want to, leave the little bit of, open at the bottom. So, I ended up using the 24 inches. If I purchased 26 inches zipper, I probably close from top to, bottom completely, but I didn't. Okay. And this one was 29 or something, and it's too long. Anyway, so the bind off has done. I already knit sleeves, half sleeve. Okay. And then the edge. Like I said, I change my mind and I add I-cord edge. Okay. So let's talk about the sleeves before the I-cord edge. Okay, it's easy. Transfer all the sleeve stitch onto needle and let's connect. Okay, sleeve connection. I change the color. Okay, you need the biggie marker. Also, clip-on marker. First of all, I want you to add clip-on marker just before the last original stitch. Okay, this is just for the indication, temporary marker. And I am going to knit up in between first and last original stitch, especially where I add new cast. That's where the new cast begins. However, okay, just outside of the new cast, there's a little gap in between first and last original. So I am going to knit up 2 extra stitch each side. Okay, outside of the new cast and before the last and first original, right there. There's 2 running thread you can see. 1 and 2. Then new cast. You know what I'm saying? So those 2 running thread area, I'm going to knit up 2 extra. But if I pick up just a running thread like that, you will create the big gap anyway. So there's the divider and 1 down. So you grab kind of, 2 running thread like that and knit up. So you minimize the gap right there. If I just picking up the running thread like that, it's gonna create. So you grab other stitch, okay? Then knit up. Then start knitting up just above the new cast. 1, 2, 3, 4. I add 8 cast, right? So the half of the 8 is 4. So after I knit up 4 from the new cast area, I add begin marker. That's the new begin marker. That's why I told you to add even number for new cast. And I have to knit up another 4, right? However, when you knit 3, which means, there's one more, stitch left, you add temporary marker just before the last new cast. Okay? So I just knit 8 of them up and another 2 extra just before the original, the first original. Okay? There we go. 1 down and 2. So you actually borrow the stitch anywhere you want if it's close enough, okay? And make sure you're not making a big gap because of that, okay? So there we go. The reason why I do this because I want to minimize the gap around that area, okay? So now I'm going to knit 1 round until the first temporary marker and then decrease those 2 extra. Okay? So here comes. This is the first marker. Remove it and first, 2 stitch, which is the last original and first extra. SSK. Slip, slip, knit. And next should be second extra and first new cast. Knit 2 together. Okay? There we go. See? There's no big gap. And knit until next temporary marker. Don't remove the begin marker. And you do same thing. After the temporary marker, Okay, after the temporary marker, last new cast knit up, and third extra stitch SSK. And then next, fourth extra and first original stitch, knit two together. So to minimize the gap, this is the best way. Add extra stitch and decrease in next row. Now knit until the begin marker. I want to talk about how to decrease evenly for the sleeve. You need to find out three number. First, current stitch count. I have 56. And now the length you want to knit. I'm going to knit only 2" because it's going to be half sleeve. Okay? And then 3, your goal stitch count. I'm going to decrease only 4 stitch. 52 stitches will be my goal stitch count. Has to be multiple of 4. Okay? The goal stitch count has to be multiple of 4 because I'm gonna use 2x2 rib. Okay, so I open up my math gauge template to find out how often I should decrease. Because if you want to decrease, you want to decrease evenly. So your sleeve looks, nicer, right? To be honest with you, my case, I don't really need to do math because I'm only going to knit 2", which is only 10 rows, and decrease 4 stitches total. So I don't really need to. However, if you want to knit longer sleeve, you better do your math. And if you don't have my template, include how to find out the number manually. So you should follow that, formula. Anyway, you still need the gauge, and those are the swatch and gauge information, right? So keep it. And I am going to input your number here and here. So the pink section, it says sleeves. Okay, so current stitch sleeve count is 56, and my goal stitch count is 52. Only 4 stitches I'm going to decrease, and this number has to be multiple of 4 because I'm going to use 2x2 ribbon at the end. And then right here, the stitch you will decrease on the row, everybody same, 2 stitches. Okay, everybody same, so 2. And then right here, the orange section, find out the row count from the length. You have to find out how many rows you're going to knit from, and you only know the length, so let's find out. For me, only 2" that I want to add. This is, obviously without the rib. Okay, so and go down. Let's go down. Right here, sleeve decrease. How often you will decrease? Blah blah blah. So 10. So 2" with my gauge. I have to knit 10 rows to reach 2". Okay. And right here, how often you will decrease? Total decrease is 4. Okay, and 2 stitches decrease at the same time, so 5. How often you decrease? you have to decrease every fifth row. And I am going to knit only 10 rows. So this is obvious, right? I'm going to decrease 2 stitch right on the fifth row and 10th row. That's it. Okay. Then after this, I'm going to add rib. All right. So let's go back to actual knitting. Okay. So I already knit 3 rows and this is end of 4th row. So after you pass the begin marker, it's going to be 5th row. So it's for me to decrease. Okay. Soon as you start 5th row, knit 1 and then knit 2 together. 1 decrease. And then knit around until the last 3 stitch before the begin marker. And here comes. And then last 3 SSK, second stitch decrease and knit 1. And this is end of the 5th row. And again, I'm going to knit 4 rows and right on the 10th, 5th row, I got to decrease 1 more time. Okay, that's it. And add 2x2 ribbon and bind off. I include the written pattern, so I don't really have to show you. Okay, so I didn't want to use the blue color for rib. Okay, because I want to keep the 20 rows to change the color. Okay, anyway, so this is the end of sleeve. Now let's talk about the I-cord edge for zipper. Okay, as I told you, I already did the other one. Okay, and you have to face to right side and knitting from right to left. So I started from the bottom for this side. However, the other side, I have to start from the top. And the needle I use, 6 millimeter, same as the body, and short cable. Okay. So first of all, make 3 cast. And right here, I have to actually pick up 2 part because it's a double neck. So 2, the other side. Okay. Knit 1 stitch up. Okay. Like that. Carefully. The first one and second one here, you gotta be kind of slow. Anyway, the working yarn is at the back. Okay. Now, there's 4 stitch on the needle and pull the needle to the other side. Okay. Now this is normal and working yarn attached at the end of the the stitch. Don't worry, that's the way it's supposed to be. Okay, so knit 2, then knit 2 together with back loop. Knit 2 together with back loop. Just take your time. It's a little bit hard at the beginning. Okay, that's it. Now 3 stitches on the needle. Okay, so make it 4 again. So right next stitch, you knit up. One and 1. Okay, so 4 stitch on the needle, then pull the needle to the other side, and same thing. knit 2, 1 and 2, then knit 2 together with back loop. There you go. And 3 stitch on the needle. And it doesn't look like, the I cord looking, but it will. And again, repeat. So repeat total of 3 times. Okay. And after the 3 times, you skip 1 stitch to knit up. Because otherwise it's going to be too wavy, You will, just like the same reason as the button rib. Anyway, so knit 2 and knit 2 together with back loop. There we go. And here, I made 3 stitch total. So 1 stitch space skip and then knit up. So you now repeat. Okay? Easy. If you knitting up too less, it's gonna be really tight because it's pulling each other, right? But if you knit up too many stitches and did the I cord, it's gonna be little wavy because too many stitches, just like a flares. So the 3 times and 1 skip, 3 times, 1 skip, that would be ideal. There you go. That's it. Easy. So this is the end of the I cord. Okay. Yeah, what do you do? 3 stitches left over after the, knit 2 together, right? Right at the bottom corner, I'm knitting up, pull. It's kind of fun to do. The reason why I, add the I cord edge, because, I didn't really like the edge when I tried the, applied the zipper. So anyway, I finish I cord and after that, just bind off 1 and 2. That's it. And cut the yarn and weave the ends off. That's the end of I cord. And the one more reason to add the I cord, okay? When you attach the zipper, I only use the bottoms inside of the I cord. So, it's really nice looking from outside. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad I added. There we go. I add one side of the zipper already. If you really want to, cover the zipper, you know what to do. There you go. I use the clear, transparent nylon, the thread. Okay, I didn't use the obviously yarn because it's really hard, right? So you put the pin and make sure the alignment is all same. You know what I'm saying? If the alignment is, a little, different, when you zip up, it's going to be a little awkward, right? So make sure about it. And then I already start, sewing. You can't really see my thread. And there you go. You can use the, the red thread if you want. You don't have to buy, but you have to buy, the thread anyway. You can buy the clear one, and nylon is a little stronger. Okay, guys, I finished the zipper, and that's about it. I hope you learned something and tried to knit this beautiful sweater. If you have any question, let me know. Enjoy!